talk about the realities of cruising. After being out for 1 year, we put together our highs and our lows to answer questions like, was it worth it? Is it romantic all the time? Are you gonna continue? I don't know. It's hard. Will we continue? Guess you're gonna have to find out.
A year ago, we had this great big party. We renamed our boat. We had all our friends, our family over. We had a bunch of food, a bunch of drinks, had a big bonfire. It was a great time.
Raise your glasses and give a hooray and a hurrah for Hiraya.
From my mascara and I can't stop it.
It was a very great memory that we will never forget. Definitely a high point of this whole adventure. Then about a week later or so, we actually left, and saying goodbye to your family and your friends and your life and everything you know, that it's actually really hard to do. It's really sad. It's very actually kind of a sad moment.
Just wondering how you're feeling.
You know, excited, nervous, scared, happy, sad, all at the same time.
But at the same time, it's also exciting when you go get to leave, because you're going in this great big unknown. You have no idea what's going to happen. So it's this really weird emotion you get. So the saying goodbye is very sad point, very low point in the trip. But the excitement's there. So it's really hard to explain that emotion until you actually go do it. With all that excitement when we left, we actually got to Rio Vista a day earlier than expected. We were just kind of full of adrenaline and just kept driving. It went really well for us. And luckily, Terry at Sierra Boat Works was kind enough to let us put our boat in his yard on a Sunday, on his day off. Very kind soul. And then the next morning, the excitement was there, but so was the fear, because now you see your boat that you've been working on for years dangling from the slings of a travel lift, just sitting there. And we've never had it in the water. We don't know if it floats. It's just, so the fear comes back and the anxiety and all these emotions come back. But once it was in the water and it was just sitting there floating, it was amazing. It was this huge moment for us in our lives to accomplish this, actually get our boat in the water.
We spent a month in Rio Vista getting to know Hiraya, and then took her for two test sails, only 2, and decided it was time to go. And we were excited, everything was great. We left Rio Vista waving goodbye and just felt like this is it, we're doing it. You know, we're doing it. The adventure has started. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Bye, Rio Vista. And then we actually got the Golden Gate Bridge in our views, and the moment that we sailed under there we go!
Under the bridge. This is the beginning of the ocean.
Woohoo! That was the big moment where we realized that this was really gonna happen. We were actually going to get into the ocean, into the Pacific, and we were gonna start cruising. We were gonna have all this fun. It was gonna be so romantic. We're gonna meet all these new people. Everything's gonna be easy because, you know, it's just gonna be. How can it not be? So everything was perfect. It was romantic. Sailing out there in the Pacific, right off the bat, we seen dolphins and whales and seals. And then around the corner, our very first anchorage, we get stopped for 2 weeks for a storm, a broken exhaust. It rained for 4 days. It was cold and wet and ugly, and we wondered if, one, should we be doing this? Two, is it gonna get worse? But we hung on and we took off again. So, how's it been?
It's been good.
Yeah?
Well, other than the fog and the cold.
You look bundled up.
I am bundled up.
You were in your socks this morning.
Yeah, well, I'm supposed to be in flip-flops, board shorts, tank tops.
You started too far north.
Northern California is cold. We were told it's always sunny in Southern California. We were told this in Northern California while we were freezing our tails off. It's not always warm in Southern California. We had fog and rain most of our trip down. So we continue sailing down the coast of California. We make it to the Channel Islands and we stop at Catalina Island. Finally ran into some cruisers and some people we met that we still talk to this day. We text all the time. We ran into this guy named Charlie in Avalon. He is the caretaker of the Chime Tower. He gave us his private tour. We got in his little maintenance truck, gave us a little tour of the entire island. Just a genuinely good person, and that's some of the things we really enjoy about this lifestyle is we run into very good people and spend a lot of time with them.
All right, so we've just left San Diego.
We finally make it to San Diego. It's still cold. We leave San Diego, I think about 5 o'clock in the morning. It takes us 2 hours to get out to the San Diego Channel. It is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. We are freezing.
What do you have to say for yourself, Captain?
Just hope we make it to Mexico. I'm freezing.
It's not supposed to be this cold. But unlike what we all think, as soon as we hit Mexico, it's gonna be warmer. That's not the case. Ensenada is gonna be about 10 degrees warmer than we are here, if we're lucky. So, we got a ways to go still.
But we're on our way to Mexico. All this excitement, you know, we're excited. We're checking the chart every 2 minutes, looking at our track, trying to find the border. And the minute we crossed that imaginary line into Mexico, it was just like, oh, it was amazing. Full of excitement. We warmed up a little bit. Woohoo! We are in Mexico. It only took us 3 months sailing down the west coast of the US from Rio Vista. We have finally made it.
Yay!
You know, the blood rushed back to our fingers because we were just so excited. We had finally, after months and months and months of sailing, we made it to Mexico.
Are we there yet?
Almost.
Almost. It's so cold. So we reached Ensenada, shed 1 layer of clothing, so we're down to sweatshirts and jeans. Got greeted with warm smiles and excitement in the air, new smells, new flavors of food, new music. Some cruisers came and met up with us and we had dinner with them. We just felt like we were on this high again of just experiencing the high life. It was fun. It was a time that we will always keep at the top. The romance continued after we left Ensenada. Day hopped most of the way down the coast of Mexico and experienced some of the most amazing sunrises and sunsets. The type that when you sit and watch them, you can just feel the energy in the air. Just an awesome way to renew your soul.
So it is morning. We have been sailing all night long. Night sailing is very weird. You go through quite a few emotions. The sun starts to set and you're thinking, oh man, I got 13 hours of darkness. What am I gonna do for 13 hours before the sun comes back up? It's gonna be cold and windy and miserable, right? And I'm gonna be tired. But then the stars come out. And when the stars come out, it's amazing. There's no light pollution. The sky is just lit up, it is on fire. You can see every star out there. The Milky Way just shines. It is really neat. And then, you know, about midnight, the moon rose. It was a half moon and just lit up the waves in the ocean. You can see all the white water, and it's pretty amazing. Then you sleep a little bit, you take some shifts, you know. I'm doing the morning shift right now. It is 6 o'clock in the morning. And I have been greeted by this amazing sunrise. A sunrise at sea is something everybody should experience once in their life. Then there's the reality of entering anchorages at night that you have never been to. Charts aren't always accurate. When we got to Bahia Tortuga, the lighthouses were switched, one wasn't working, there's a reef. We went in the dark, we didn't really know what we were doing, went off purely off our charts. It was kind of scary. So you get this emotional, there's this little bit of fear entering at night when you don't know where you are. We only ended up there because we were hiding from a storm. This thing blew 30 knots for a couple days. There was 5-foot swells, wind waves coming through the anchorage. We were hobby horsing in for 24, 48 hours. It was miserable. It was the most miserable 2 nights I think of our lives. Our centerboard mechanism broke, so the centerboard was down. So I went down, I tried to pick it up. You know, my head's below my butt. I got seasick for the very first time in my entire life there. It was definitely a low point. There was this bait ball of fish coming in, and these sea lions were just going after these things for hours. So you have all this huge group of sea lions that come running right by your boat, and you could see them, they're barking. It was really cool to watch, but it rained, bouncing around, you didn't sleep. So there are definitely some low moments as you are cruising full time. Not everything can be sunny and bright, and you know, there's a lot of other aspects to this life. Because of all these storms and this cold weather sailing we've been doing and coming down the Pacific coast, we learned an amazing lot of knowledge though. We actually left that bay fully reefed, under sail in 25 knots because we could not stand another day there. Came out in the Pacific in the swells, and it actually ended up being great. After about 2 hours, the wind settled out, the sail was beautiful. We actually ended up motoring, I think, by the end of the day.
We leave Turtle Bay, rip roaring with that storm, and sail away and leave it behind us. We get to sunshiny bays like Asushan and then into Magdalena Bay, where we end up spending weeks just getting to know the family that runs the restaurant there and learning how to do laundry by feet.
Buy a boat, he says.
It'll be fun, he says.
So, this morning, I'm getting laundry done. I'm getting a pedicure and drinking my coffee and getting exercise.
The more does the girl need?
Oh my God.
And just kind of shaking off the winter blues and warming up a little bit. It was the first place we started to experience on a daily basis warm, more warm. The water's getting warm. We seen a turtle for the first time, and so our spirits got lifted a little bit, thinking we are getting somewhere that's warmer.
What a stupid hat.
Keeps the sun off of you.
It's been destroyed.
What is going on today?
Well, it's unfortunately it's time for us to leave. We've had a wonderful week or so in Magdalena Bay. We made some new friends at the restaurant. The owner and his family are amazing people, and it's sad to to say goodbye, but I guess that's our life. So we're about ready to raise anchor, start the motor, and sail to Cabo San Lucas.
Woo! And then when you don't think you can get higher, you'll run into a pod of 20 or 25 whales that are breaching and dancing so close to your boat that it's getting you wet, you're getting a little bit of spray. They're landing. When they land, the wave will push your boat off to the side a little bit. And they'll sit there and look at you, and you make eye contact with them, and it's just, holy cow, it was just the most amazing thing to see these creatures that are so huge come out and so carefully not land on us and let us kind of go around them and just sit there quietly and watch them. Just magical.
And after sailing on a little bit more, we run into other cruisers and these other anchorages, which is really exciting. That's what you come out here to do, is to meet other people and places. 3 other boats said they're gonna come join us here in a little bit. We're gonna have some fire, some drinks, some music, watch the sun go down. It's one of my favorite things in the world to do right here. This is my little happy place. You go hang out at the pool, you play games together, you just genuinely meet good people, and they're very fun to hang around with. You don't know them, you're complete strangers, but after a couple days, you're best friends, and you stay in touch with them pretty much forever, all the time. And it's amazing how often 3 months might go by, but then you will run back into the same group of cruisers again, and you're like, oh, I haven't seen you in months, you know, and you hang out again. It's really exciting. It's a great time. We really do enjoy that aspect of the cruising life.
We really like going into La Paz and get into the marina, where we had nice showers, met new people, participated in some of the activities with the clubs. We did a dinghy poker run, which was really fun.
Hiraya! Hiraya!
Hurry up! Enjoying the city life and having some meals prepared for us that we didn't prepare, which was really nice. The highlight of that time was when we had 2 of our kids come visit, and we hightailed it off to an island and spent a couple days away from everybody, just immersing ourselves in the ocean and the snorkeling and the paddleboarding and the wildlife out there.
Good morning. I really liked the bioluminescence when we were here. And I liked...
Sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
And I liked seeing my parents. It was really fun. I'm done.
Now you have to go back to the snow.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the trip so far has just been on the boat, if I'm being honest. The bioluminescence were cool. I saw a turtle, which was cool. The snorkeling was also really cool. Reefs are less colorful than I expected, I will say. But we did see a couple starfish, also on the list. And sailing was cool too. We only got to sail for a couple hours, but that was nice. It's weird. You can feel it, like catch. It's weird. It's nice.
It's really fun having family and friends come visit you. It's a great high. It's like you're on vacation yourself, hanging out with everybody. But then again, the moment comes where this huge low shows up. You have to say goodbye. Never ever gets easier to say goodbye to your kids, your family, your friends, knowing you're not going to see them again in 3, 4, maybe 5 months. You know, we don't know.
After saying goodbye though, we quickly adjust back to cruising life. We sail into anchorages that no one else is in. We go to little teeny tiny fishing villages and meet new people. We spend time hiking and paddleboarding and doing whatever we want whenever we want to, and just get back to the romance of being out and away and unplugged. It's fantastic. But after months of being on the hook, it was a welcome treat to return back to dock life. We stayed in Puerto Escondido, where we got to see the Mabula rays come through. They must have been breeding or birthing at that time, because there were just thousands of them everywhere, jumping and spinning. Nice to have dinner again and meet cruisers again and kind of get back to that sort of life. Getting back to civilization gave us a chance to eat out. We had some really awesome pizza. We got to do some land excursions, hiking, and just, you know, kind of become more in touch with reality again. I'm ready. How about you?
After a few weeks though of marina life, you really want to get moving again. You want to feel like you're actually you're cruising, you're doing what you came out to do. You didn't come all this way to sit on the dock the whole time. So we get headed out again, and the romance and the high comes right back. There's whales and there's dolphins, and you're cruising and you're sailing and everything's great. It's beautiful out. And then something happens, something breaks, something major happens to the boat.
Chaos is happening.
All of a sudden you are on this huge low, your world just ended, you don't know what you're gonna do. You've got to limp back to the marina because you're broken. It's very stressful, and it really takes the fun out of some of those highs because the low is just so low. When you break down in the middle of nowhere, you can't get parts. Especially Baja, Mexico, there's not a lot of resources here. It takes a lot of time. There's a lot of talented people here, but it takes time to get parts. So to sum this whole video up, the highs, the lows, the ups and downs, the emotional roller coaster that cruising life is, would we continue doing this? Is it worth all the work and the effort and saying goodbye and your families and the arguments we have on the boat? Because you are on this tiny space. You will fight more than you're used to. You'll find yourself bickering for no reason at all. And it's just, the spaces are small. You're not used to spending that much time together. So what is that answer? Is it worth it? 100%
yes.
Definitely yes. It is worth all of it. It's worth all the struggles, it's just an amazing lifestyle. It's the high, you have higher highs and lower lows, there's no doubt about that. But the highs are so high that the lows just don't really matter. You just get through the sucky part of this, you know, and realize going into it that it's not all sunsets, it's not all beaches, it's not all wonderful, wonderful life. You know, it's still life. You have hardships.
Boat projects and spending money you didn't plan on.
You'll learn a lot about yourself. You'll learn a lot about your marriage if you're coming out as a married couple. You just learn a lot about life and what it really means to just be where you are and to focus on a task, to get through something you don't know. Like, how do you get through a storm if you've never been in a storm? Should you worry about 20 knots? You know, we used to be concerned about 20 knots. 20 knots now is let's just go to sleep. You know, it's very comfortable. It's like, let's go out, oh, 20 knots, let's go for a sail. You know, it's perfect. 30 knots, let's raise anchor, let's go for a sail, because you get your norm. What used to scare you becomes your normal, and it's really easy to just keep going. And then the first 6 months are pretty hard because it seems like you're fighting everything. But once you get into a rhythm, and the more you do it, the easier this becomes, and everything just kind of becomes second nature.
Are we going to continue even with the broken motor? Or
yeah.
Exhaust? Yeah,
we're going to continue. We are going to continue till we run out of money. Or something major life happens, you know. Hopefully nothing like that happens, but we are going to keep doing this until we are broke, and we're going to keep trying to find ways to make money to keep going. That's how much we enjoy this lifestyle.
So that reminds me, like, subscribe, and share with your friends, because it really helps us out.
It does help a lot. You have no idea how much it helps just to subscribe to a YouTube channel. For those of you that are dreaming and wanting to do this, keep at it. If that is your goal, just make it happen. It is worth any of the hardship to get there. It's any of the sacrifices. Yeah. It's worth it. I mean, we worked our tails off. We drove used cars. We saved our money. Like, you know, it's worth all of it. It really is.
Adios.
And with that, we are out of here. We're gonna enjoy the cruising life.
Hasta luego.